Company.
Yes, it is. Another edition here of Bell and Company. Sunday nights live in the Chicago area. I, of course, am the host, Mario J. Bell, and that person you hear on the mic over there is Libby. Hey, Libby.
How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I
That's
lost
good.
my voice, but I got it back in time for this great show
Yeah.
that we're doing tonight. And you're okay, right? You're feeling healthy?
Yeah, I'm
You
good.
Kind of a little bit, I don't know, smirky today. What's going on with
I'm
you?
always smirky. You know that.
A little more than normal. And then, of course, I don't want to forget to introduce the guy that sets everything up for us, all our great guests we get here. Hey, Joe.
Howdy.
You doing all right? You hanging in
I'm
there?
Exhausted this week.
Had a long week?
Just been drained. I don't know why.
They've been beating you up with the show.
No
rehearsals.
I haven't practiced as much. It's just more of just full tire.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I hear you on that. I mean, like I said, I lost my voice. I was sleeping most of the week. I don't know what's going on. Stuff's in the air, floating around, Fall comes with all kinds of crap. But anyway, so we're here. Why don't you introduce our guests to us, Joe? You're working with them.
Well, we've got Carl and Deven. Why don't you guys introduce yourself? Tell us what y'all do for the play.
Sure. Thanks so much for inviting us. Glad to be here. My name's Carl Gilmore. I am the director of A Christmas Carol and one of the founding board members of PACT, which is Playnfield Arts Community Theater.
Awesome.
And our subsidiary that is putting on A Christmas Carol, Playnfield Players.
This is the first time I think I read it's the first time they've done A Christmas Carol?
This is a
First
completely new company. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So everything's new.
Yep.
I gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sitting next to you, go ahead.
My name is Deven Ferber, and I play Scrooge. I am not on the board, and that's okay with me. So I have enough trying to learn my lines, let alone all that stuff that goes with it. So
You got quite a few lines.
quite a few, yeah.
A lot going on with the small community theaters. You got to wear a lot of hats, but you're the main star, so you get a little bit of privilege there.
Absolutely.
Whew. So how did this all get going in the Plainfield? I mean, I know it's still kind of a big city, Chicago suburb, but specifically Plainfield. Why Plainfield?
Yeah. So this started out as an idea from our mayor, John Argadelis, who has for years gone to see A Christmas Carol in Chicago. And,
Okay.
there's a lot of productions around the Chicago area, and he's a big fan. And I have a background in theater, and he and I have been friends for a while. And he reached out to me a couple of Decembers ago, and he said, we really need to do something that'll bring people together in Plainfield. And we don't have our own community theater group here. And wouldn't it be great if we started one? We did something like A Christmas Carol that just really brings everybody together for the season, gives them, somebody to cheer for. And so we started talking about, all right, so what could we do to bring this to fruition? And eventually looked at, a larger theater concept and the idea of Playnfield Players, which would not only do A Christmas Carol annually, but build to where we would have an annual season that we could do with a show or two in addition to the Christmas show. And it just kind of snowballed from there. We brought in some other folks that John knew from his contacts in Plainfield who did theater. And then as word started to get out that we were forming one, we had some people reach out to us. So now there's 5 of us on the board trying to make this all happen.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I guess now you're competing with Aurora's got their own, a big one actually, and Naperville's got some stuff going on. I don't know if they have a official Naperville community theater. Maybe they do.
I don't.
There's not
I don't
one.
think not. There's
no.
not
I was
one.
gonna
main
say
one.
there's
they've got
few
a
of
couple
them.
companies.
Yeah. But that's pretty awesome. And for people that don't know, Plainfield is basically straight down I-55, straight southwest of Chicago. Great little community. 2 of my friends got married in the main church right there off of, I don't even know, I guess it's the main street there. What is that?
59.
59.
Yeah, 59. Thank you.
Calvary.
Yeah.
Big campus.
It is
Yeah.
actually. I'm like, oh, okay. So I know Plainfield. Pretty awesome. But again, Christmas. Well, I guess because it's the family thing. A lot of people are going to be in the mood to want to see this. A lot of places do it, obviously.
Yes.
Christmas Carol. So how big is the theater?
Well, so we don't actually have our own space. So we are working with 2 different institutions, community church, and we're rehearsing there.
Okay.
But then we are performing at Plainfield High School's central campus
Oh, got
in
it.
their auditorium.
Okay.
And
You're not alone because in Libby and I went and saw a show in what was it, Lake Forest,
Yes.
their high school. They have a community theater,
Mm-hmm.
a pretty big one.
Yeah, there are a lot of places. It's if you don't do a big enough number of shows every year to justify having your own space, it's a lot easier to have a shared space and
Makes
have
sense.
a couple different organizations that work together to be able to put a show on and then do other things the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the school's going to utilize everything they can, right?
Right.
That's pretty awesome.
Right.
And how did how did you get involved with? I don't know the backstory there of how you got involved with doing the theater. them?
Well, I started looking at like local community theater things because I saw a lot of my friends from college that started to get back into acting again, and I was just getting ready to want to leave the band life, and kind of decided, yeah, I'm gonna go for it and look for a play. And then I stumbled upon Playnfield Players Facebook page, and I was like, who the heck are they? I'm gonna badger them a little bit
Because you live out there, obviously.
So I just started badgering them, and they finally told me, yeah, tryouts are this point, you sign up is here, and I just went for it. So yeah, it was
Okay,
pretty
so
cool.
you guys didn't know each other before. That's what I was wondering. Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Nope.
Got it. Yeah. So maybe, because we talked on one of the other shows we were just doing about how it's such a small community, music community, but I think theater is too.
Oh yeah, it's very.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed that a lot of people know. Everybody knows everybody because everybody gets on a bill or a show and something, and then they end up knowing the other person who was in a play with this person, who was in a play with this person, who was
Sure.
directed by this person.
I mean, I know in radio it's like that too, and I always think, man, what program director did I upset again? Because now they're like running a station. It's like, oh gosh, but so far so good. I haven't really had any problems with networking. In radio, at least. I don't know about theater, but do you guys have to, with a small, I never really thought about, maybe I forgot to ask this to other people that have been on a show with, the acting stuff, but being in like Actors Equity or any of the unions, are you forced to do it at all? Anybody? Are you in it?
Not
No.
in community theater. I mean, usually you're not going to have professional actors come out for
Okay.
community theater. They're trying to get work in the industry itself, and actually a paid gig. So those of us who, just want to have a full-time job and just still want to be involved in it, it's a great opportunity to kind of expose ourselves to the neighborhood, but also have fun with our talent, whatever it is that we have. And it's just a great opportunity. But no, we're really not forced to join a union. Or
I was
anything like
wondering
that.
if it's like, because it's Chicago area, even though it's
Right.
Plainfield, it's still, that's kind of like
Yeah.
a strong thing. Everybody's trying to, I know for me to work downtown, even in radio, is like a board op. That's the producer in the background running all the controls. A lot of times, if you're there long enough, if you're a certain amount of hours, they make you join. So that's AFTRA, which was something by itself. Now it's SAG-AFTRA, and then
Right.
there's the Actors Equity. That's why I was wondering. I thought maybe you guys would be in that one.
Yeah. No, that's only for professional productions.
Okay.
So we're not paying anybody, unfortunately. And Deven will be glad to tell you about that, I'm sure.
Well, I was just wondering. I'm not pressuring you to join or anything.
All I know is that this podcast was not in my contract.
Yeah, I was just
Oh, well,
gonna-
thanks for
now I
coming
gotta-
out.
I got to write down how much I got to send them now. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, I was just wondering because I know some, like there's the Drury Lane Theater in Oakbrook. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know. They're the professional.
That's a professional
Yep.
production.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Sure. Marriott Lincolnshire is another
yeah,
big
Marriott
one.
Lincolnshire, which is smaller, but yeah, I guess and even the one that I was talking about in Lake. Where were we again?
Lake Forest.
Yeah, it was Lake Forest. That theater is, I think they're Actors Equity. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think of the name. Do you remember the name of the theater?
I
Community something.
know the play, The Cottage, but I don't remember the.
Yeah, I don't
theater.
remember what the hell the theater. But anyway, so that's in the high school though.
Right.
But it's like separate. Like you walk to a different hallway and everything. So I don't know if it's like that at Plainfield too. Are you kind of like separate from the main building, or they use it for like their plays and stuff?
Yeah, no, it is their auditorium that they use for their plays and band performances and choir performances.
It's a
Okay.
nice auditorium for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
It's
very
also
big.
why we're doing the show December 20th through 22nd,
Oh, sure.
because it's after all of their Christmas shows.
right,
and
right. You got the conflicts,
Choir
right?
band, exactly.
Yeah, that makes
exactly.
sense.
So we're very happy to be there, but a little bit of a mixed blessing being the weekend before Christmas. It is a Christmas show.
I'll be around.
But, yeah.
I'll be
Well,
I'll be gone like the day of Christmas. I think I'm leaving.
Yep.
So I'll
Yep.
be able to go, which I definitely want to go. By the way,
Right
So-
on. We'll be glad to have you.
yeah,
Absolutely.
where are the tickets available right now if we want to buy tickets?
So if you go to On the Stage /Playnfield Players, and you have to spell that carefully because it's Playn Field Players. Little play on words there.
Yeah, playing on words in Playnfield. Love it. Got it. Okay.
It'll come up because it's the only show that we have right now.
Okay.
So yeah, just search that up, and tickets are available for all 3 performances still. It's general admission. They're not a bad seat in the house. Looking forward to really filling it and getting everybody to get that last hint of the holiday spirit before they head to their families or wherever they're going for their Christmas celebration.
Did we already sell like 200 tickets in the first few days?
Oh, we did, and we're up to 365.
Oh wow,
as of my last
we
check.
are getting our tickets,
And
Libby.
we're
Wow.
still over a month out.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Man,
it's
how
going
big is
really
the
well.
auditorium? I know usually high schools are big. But
Isn't it like
geez.
500?
It's about 700
Oh,
if it's
750.
totally full. So I
Wow,
mean, there's
okay.
lots of room still available, but
Yeah, it's like
to have
half
that many
sold out.
tickets sold this early is really exciting for something that's completely new. We don't have a built-in subscriber base or historic attendees.
I think
This
it
is
helps
really
to know
all
the
word of
mayor.
mouth. It does help to, yes, absolutely. And he's a great
pull.
promoter, and he's a huge fan of everything Playnfield, and so it's been really helpful having his voice as a part of the promotions. But he's also been very intentional about stepping back and really letting those of us who are putting the show together be the ones who are the voice of it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Kind of independent, but yet he's behind. He's watching, going, "Okay, who are they casting there? Wait a minute." And I bet he's like thinking. I mean, he's letting you direct, but
Yep.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I love it. I like the small. To me, it's more fun to see the small local stuff, even the actual high school plays versus going downtown, to like the Broadway and Chicago stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And we have a lot of talent on it. It's one of the reasons that we wanted to have a community theater. We have 4 high schools in our community as a part of the Plainfield School District, which goes well outside the bounds of Plainfield proper as a village. And they put on consistently good shows. As a matter of fact, there might even be somebody here in studio with us who's been a part of several of those.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Plainfield Theater.
Plainfield North High School.
Oh yeah,
right?
North. I was in
Go
Cinderella.
Tigers.
Yeah. Go Tigers.
Which one of the fairy godmothers did you play?
I was actually the herald.
Come on, Joe, just be honest.
I was
now.
actually the herald. The prince gave a ball.
Oh, okay.
You know?
You remember your big line from the show?
The prince is giving a ball.
Well, okay.
See, something to stay with you.
That was his audition that he gave you for.
They gave me
Christmas.
that was the opening song, and I was like, oh gosh, and like it had like this one high note that I just kept struggling with, but I finally got it, so I was pretty cool on that one.
There you
That's
go.
pretty awesome. I
Yeah.
love it.
But yeah, I was gonna say if like they had community theater when I was in high school, I would have done my high school theater and then gone to community theater because I probably wouldn't have been kicked out of North.
I mean, they do have it. Like our high school had the Blackfriars Guild. I went to a private school in Oak Park, Illinois. Western Springs has it. It's semi-professional, but still considered community theater. So it's
Mhm.
out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in every city, obviously.
Right.
But it's there. But it's good that you started in Plainfield. What about Joliet too? Are you pulling from Joliet too? with
We are.
actors and-
We've got people from all over who are trying out, and so we're very fortunate that we've got people who've done theater in surrounding areas, but they're really excited about bringing theater home to Plainfield, where they live, where they work, and want to bring that and help build up our community here too, as well as do a show. Everybody will continue to do shows elsewhere. You're not always going to get a part, or you're not always going to find a show that's exactly what you want to do at the time. And so there's probably another opportunity out there somewhere nearby. And it just helps build the network, brings more people in who want to watch, brings more people in who want to participate. And we're excited about all of that.
But you wouldn't have a problem with everybody being together, obviously, if they keep
Not at
coming
all.
back and being a little group.
For
You just
sure.
add to it. Keep adding
Yep.
to it.
Yep.
Very good. I love that. Like I said, I love the local thing. I've always been, even with radio, I like live and local. Forget about, well, not that I don't listen to national guys, but live and local is always more fun. So I'd like to say that we're live and local, even though we're streaming and podcasts. We're technically national. I mean, we are based in the suburbs of Chicago, but anybody can listen anywhere.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the beauty of the new technology. But the bad part is, I think you lose, this is great that Joe knows about you guys. We're talking kind of a local thing,
Mhm.
which is awesome. And I think a lot of podcasts do like a niche. I kind of am all over the place. Depends upon who the guest is that day,
Sure.
But anyway, back to the local theater. So how did you get your start? We'll start with our director here. What got you involved with this? What is your background?
So I was a theater major as an undergrad at college. I went to Valparaiso University, got my degree there, and went into theater administration out of school. Worked in that for a while, and then got to a point where, working many nights a week and lots of weekends starts to run into other things that you want to do in life. And so I moved to a point where I could still do theater in community theater in the area. I've done stuff in Batavia, in Naperville, in Joliet. And so I just wanted to, bring that to Plainfield here. But I've been in musicals, I've been in reviews, I've done lots of straight plays. I worked with children's theater as an undergrad. So really broad set of experience around different kinds of shows, and just have loved how it helps me understand myself better, understand the world better, find ways to connect with people, both fellow actors and audience members. That's one of the exciting and terrifying things about live theater, right?
Yeah.
Is that you can hear, even when you're performing, when somebody connects with what you're doing. You get that gasp, or you get a really big laugh out of something.
The live audience.
And sometimes it's what you planned for, and sometimes it's not. And then you deal with that.
So you've basically been able to do this full time in essence.
Oh, no, not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
No, I like I said, I worked administrative professional theater for a while. For those in the area
still
who
related
remember
to the business.
Candlelight and Forum theaters.
Yeah, that's still the
I was
business
there.
though.
Yep, absolutely.
Just not acting or
Right.
directing.
Right.
I got it. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's weird how people get involved with these things. I mean, I was a volunteer with the local political candidates, and it led from one thing led to another. I was on shows, then I went to school for it. It's like, okay, I guess I can do this. And for a while, all I was doing, bouncing around the country. Not theater, radio, which
Right,
is theater of the
right.
mind, right? It's audio,
Oh, for sure.
But,
Yeah.
there was some video, but mostly just audio, because that's before the age of YouTube and all that. I'm kind of
Mhm.
old, believe it or not. I'm hoping I'm
I
younger
feel
than
you.
I am. I hope I look younger, I should say. But yeah, so it's it's good to be able to do it at all, whether it's full time or not. That's the thing,
It is. Well, and one of the things that I've been really excited about is that what I learned in studying theater and practicing theater helps me all the time, personally and professionally. You learn how to read people and how to respond to people in a way that's authentic. Even though you're doing it for a play, right? You're still having to respond in a way that builds relationship quickly. And so if you do it well, you learn how to do that in your personal life. You learn how to
Sure.
talk in front of people that you don't know all the time, which is really important for somebody who wants to share an important message.
The number one fear of people is like public speaking. So yeah, I
Yep.
get it. I get it.
Why do you
That's-
think I play a dummy?
Yeah, that's right. Livy's the dummy. She likes being heard, not seen. She's
Exactly.
perfect for radio. Yeah. No, but
I have
seriously.
a face for radio. That's why she's my.
There you go. There's Livy.
She's my proxy.
There she is.
Again, it definitely is something to know in life. I mean, my parents made me do all kinds of things, and one of them was to do some local plays, and I was actually pretty bad at it at first. I believe it or
Nice.
not.
You
I'm
forgot
pretty good
your
at speaking now.
lines.
I forgot like half of the end of the play, not the pro. Well, yeah, like the prologue. I forgot most of it, and I was standing there going, "Hey, Mrs. My teacher." I'm
Oh, right, yeah,
So
read
this
the
was,
line.
this was like second or third grade, though.
It was fourth.
Fourth, right? Okay.
So, but still,
give
I
yourself
mean-
a little bit of grace.
I mean, it's still, I can't believe that it happened, because how many times let's talk about it, and I want to hear your story too, but just how many times we rehearsed it, and maybe I was stage fright a little bit, because before I was, got over that fear.
Yep.
I think maybe that did it.
Well,
for a
it's
while.
really tough to play a flower, especially in fourth grade.
Yeah. Well, you know
Yeah.
what? I was a detective, so
Oh,
I
a
kind of
detective.
You
had
were
a
a
disguise
flower
on a little
detective.
bit.
Wow.
Nice.
But it was like, what the hell's going on? But anyway, so we want to hear your story too. So have you always been acting, or what's your story?
Yeah, as far as I can remember. I mean, my father did a lot of community theater. I mean, he actually changed his name so that he can make it in songwriting back in the 40s and the 50s. And so he was still kind of maintaining some of that music background, but he started doing a lot of industrial commercials and then theater on his own. And that's kind of what I was raised with. And I think,
do you use the same stage name now then, or?
Yeah, he's still, well, he's gone now, but he had changed his name because he didn't think that it was going to sell for whatever. That's, I guess, what they do in Hollywood, right? We're going to make you, it's not going to be Harrison Ford, or it's not going to be Harrison Blaine anymore. It'll be Harrison Ford, right?
I know.
So,
He legally changed it?
my dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I've been doing theater since I think the first show I did, I was 7 years old. I did a walk-on for Guys and Dolls, and kind of got the bug in there. And then ever since then, I've been doing shows. I remember being as far back. I don't know if this was before Guys and Dolls or not.
When was Guys and Dolls? How old were
This
you?
was probably had to be in like 70, 68, something like that. 68, 69, something like that.
So we were 4.
I remember that year.
Yeah, I did a walk-on for Guys and Dolls. But I do remember back in grammar school. In grammar school, they were doing a history lesson or something, and they wanted all the students to put together a little bit of a skit explaining what you learned. And we were talking about World War II, and we were talking about things that kids kind of don't remember after the class is over. But I came in and somehow I got a hold of an old jacket from a veteran that kind of fit me. And I played the old soldier coming home, and then the wife jumping up from the kitchen crying and, and then you hear big band music in the background. It was like one of those things. So just having that side always brought a lot of joy, to me. And then when I had this opportunity, I've done theater, overseas, I've done it locally. I've just done in a lot of different venues. And when the last show I did was about 7 years ago. And that was at the Wheaton Drama Playhouse. Great group of people over there. Can't speak enough about them.
Yeah, I forgot about mentioning Wheaton. Wheaton got a good theater.
Really good and really
community.
Great theater. Put on really great production. A lot of talent comes out for that. And then I saw like I said, it'd been about 7 years. And I don't know where I saw it, but it must have been on Facebook. Playnfield Players. This is before, I think I saw one ad for Christmas Carol. I go, wow, are they really doing? God, oh man, I've never done Scrooge, boy, but that would be a lot of fun to do that. And
interesting,
so I was blessed to, get out there, do the audition and get the part. And I mean, it's one of literally, even though it's not professional, it's one of those roles where at least I can say it's a role of a lifetime because there's so much involved in the character.
Yeah.
Well, it is really professional. It's just not quote unquote like
I'm not
downtown theater.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just a dynamic character. It's a beloved character throughout the world. And when you take some time to just look at him, you can really learn a lot about who he is and where he came from, the character. So we're trying to really.
I never read the original novel.
Well, this is what I would tell people. Really, if you really want to know Scrooge, think about this. If you're a young child and you find yourself growing up in some sort of way that might be a little bit neglected, right? You've not gotten the kind of encouragement or affirmation that you want, and you grow up with that. You're that's going to affect you as an adult, right? I mean, it's going to affect you. And when you look at Scrooge. Here's a guy who was left alone every Christmas. His own father didn't want him in the house. And I think that developed in him, correct me if I'm wrong, director, but but I think what occurred was, like us, he shut himself off from the world. He said, I can't trust anybody, so I'm going to close myself off. And that's what happened to his relationship.
Sounds like me.
Right? I mean, it's something that we can all relate to on some level, and then to see him start to realize that there's more to life than just money, and that this is the way for me to become alive again. Not necessarily spiritual alive, but alive to be able to see people, to realize I'm more than just what this is.
I think the ghost scared the hell out of him too.
Yeah, certainly did not hurt. That certainly did not hurt.
I love how you're passionate, like how you're really getting into kind of trying to study the character itself, which makes sense. I mean, if you're going to play somebody,
that's what acting is.
Yeah, I mean, think about all the angles there.
They're so easy. Carl and I were talking about this. So it's so easy to be that cartoonish Scrooge. the Jim Carrey Scrooge, right? I mean, anybody can really do that, right? Yeah, you can do that.
You mean you're not doing it that way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I think I'm trying to do it where we have a little bit of both. So we have a little bit of that, that mean
Crotchety.
kind of crotchety kind of old fogey, but also a little where he's not so cartoonish, where we're trying to, the little things that he says and the way that he says it allows for some humanity to be in there, other than just because everybody knows who Scrooge is.
Right.
We probably have one in our life, and we're looking, oh my gosh, he's going to be there for Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, right? We've all got a Scrooge in our family.
We
So
do. I believe
See you
so.
at Thanksgiving, Unc.
yeah. And so it's just a wonderful character. It's such a rich character to play. It really is.
You're gonna bring a little bit of the more human side to him. It sounds like.
Yeah, I'd like
give him a little
to.
more depth. It sounds.
I think that's important. I think if you want to combine both the traditional Scrooge that everybody knows and loves, right? But again, also make it so it's even more relatable, and that they kind of get away from that. Oh, well, that was a fun Scrooge. I want them to walk away going, oh, you know what? I could really relate to that guy.
I remember him in that.
Yeah.
Let's see him again in Scrooge and wherever else he's going to do it. So, what about the actual play itself? Then are you basing it like the original book, like whatever is 1800s, or are you doing it more of a modern version of it? Like even the look, like what are you dressing?
Well, I
in?
think everybody would love to be able to do it in the old English, right? And I mean, right.
I don't mean the language so much, the look.
But the look, I mean, the look will be there.
Yep.
The look will be there. But to do a traditional Cockney accent is not easy. You could go all over the place.
I don't even know what they're saying half the time. But,
right.
And that's English.
And if you have just one person, if we just have one person doing it, it's going to really look strange. If everybody's speaking in an English, we actually have an actor who is actually from Scotland, Malcolm, who's from Scotland, who's playing Marley.
Yeah.
In the Scottish accent?
In the Scottish accent.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So it might be a little strange if we all kind of had a different accent and brought it. So I think it was a good decision that Carl made let's just have it, in English,
American English.
American
English.
A standard American. I got you. But the look, are you going to be in like the 1800s clothing then?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a great costume designer and coordinator who's working with me and with the assistant director to pull stuff so that we can start doing some fittings. And we're very fortunate to have a couple of good partners and some local theater troupes who have a nice stock of costumes that they're giving us some access to.
Oh, you don't have to make them all then. You're going to get some.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Because making those is very, very involved. And then
expensive.
I imagine that would be
and then
pricey.
you have to store them somewhere. And quite honestly, again, as a newer theater troupe, we don't have a
trunk
space
in your
yet.
closet at your house. What do you mean?
Well,
you're the director.
Since we're only for 3 days, I mean, I'll just take it home and put it in the closet. It's that simple.
His closet. There you go.
I mean, not everybody's costume, just my costume.
Oh, okay. Well, see,
He's
that
gonna steal
changes
his
that
own.
equation a little bit. But yeah, so we're going to be period. Similarly with the look of the set, we have a great drop that looks like a London streetscape from that time, and we're building set pieces. We don't have a complete set for each scene,
Okay.
because again, we're using somebody else's space.
Yeah.
And so we're bringing in enough of the scenes that help us define the space and who lives there or who works there. And
we're not going to have any horse and carriage and buggy stuff. No. Okay.
No, none of that.
Well, we are taking donations.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Because we are a new theater.
Everybody.
So we're selling shares in the theater.
Playn Field Theater.
There we go.
Look it up. Interesting. Yeah, I was just wondering if maybe there was a twist there that you're trying to do modern time Scrooge or whatever. But no,
not for this. And it's funny. So I read a lot of scripts when I was looking for which version of this I wanted to do. And, there's some great classic movies out there. I personally love the Muppet version. If you've ever seen that, definitely check that out.
Or the Bill Murray.
Are you talking about the one with Michael Caine?
I think so.
Really?
Michael Caine in there, yeah.
And you're directing this show.
I am.
All right, bro.
But we're not directing it that way.
Obviously that was a little more comical. They got the Muppets, but I get what he said. The kind of the way they look pretty authentic, honestly, the way they did their,
But what's interesting is that, the scripts all have different takes on elements of the story. The story is the same at its heart, but the way in which you focus people's attention and some of the language that's used. And what I really liked about this one is that as Scrooge goes through the journey with the ghosts, only two of them talk to him. The third one, the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, doesn't talk. But in each case, they either say or indicate all the time that he should be looking at things, whether it's in his past, going on now, or what could happen in the future.
Okay.
And I thought that it was really important to have that, as Deven was explaining, Scrooge is very closed off and he doesn't look outside. And I think that's part of why he has the difficulty connecting that he does. And so what happens is when he is forced to look at his past or forced to look at how other people are living today, or to look at what might happen in the future, it literally opens his eyes to, here's ways that I need to be different, to look at things and to really engage with them. And so that's the version that I chose for us to explore.
Well, where did that actually come from? Then not the Muppet version, but another.
No, it's a published script. It's actually written by a gentleman who is associated with a theater up in Evanston. They've done it before, and then they've licensed it for production by other companies.
Oh, got it. A local deal.
Yeah,
very good.
And that was another part of why I liked it, was because it was keeping it in the Chicagoland area.
And again, that theater company that did it probably is similar level. Well, they have a theater in
No,
Evanston,
they're
though.
professional, and they actually have quite a few published scripts.
I was going to say, because Evanston's
That's
got
pretty
a few
awesome.
big theaters in Evanston.
Yep.
I think one of the things that Carl was alluding to that I really enjoy about the script is that the way I look at it at the very end, he learns to be about others other than himself. It's funny how when we all take time to just gaze at ourselves and see everything that encapsulates ourselves, we can get very depressed, right? We can get very angry and down and bitter. And then he learns to be about something bigger than himself. He realizes that there's more out there. There's one line where the Ghost of Christmas Present takes him outside to see people caroling. And he said, and Scrooge says to them, he says, what's that you notice? And he says, well, look at everybody giving to one another. You have to understand that's what's important. And he says to them, well, what makes their lives better on this day than any other? So he's really trying to learn more about people and find out what is going on. And then the ghost really wants him to help see those things in detail so he can really get a shock to his system, wake up. And again, I think we're all better when we're others centered is what I'm saying.
I'm trying to think of what version it was that was always on TV. It was in black and white, and it kind of delved into the characters a little deeper, like you're talking about.
Well,
there's what version that is.
Well, there's a couple of, I don't know what version. I mean, the one that we've talked about at rehearsals is one with the actor who's obviously gone. This is in the 30s, Alistair Sims.
Yeah,
that might be it.
There's a wonderful character. You don't see him playing that cartoonish. Christian, get over here.
That is the one I'm thinking, because it's more realistic, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he
so
plays a real Scrooge.
He plays it more just a professional guy that is just mean and angry in the beginning, and then you really start him to see him really change. I think he does one of the better
Is that really
adaptations of the story.
That's from the 30s,
That was
really?
in the 30s, yeah.
Jeez.
Well, you can't forget Bill Murray.
Yeah. No, I don't
gotta
think
love
I want to.
I mean, I guess that was kind of a modern interpretation. I mean, loosely based on Scrooge.
Yeah, very loosely based.
Yeah, I did like it. I mean, it was fun to watch, but again,
it was a nice look.
I wouldn't expect you guys to do anything like that.
Oh no, we don't have the fly system for what Carol Kane did. In that one. Not gonna happen.
Okay.
Oh darn.
Well, that was a quote unquote big budget. Actually, it did do pretty well at the box office. So. Not at first.
I'm just trying to get them to dump real snow on the street scene. That is like I can't.
There
get
you
them to
go.
do that.
Yeah, you get. We'll probably have some in December, I would think.
I got an uncle who has a snow cone machine. Maybe we.
Yeah, that'll work.
Who are you playing again, Joe? What's your part?
I'm Scrooge's nephew. Fred.
The nephew. Okay.
Don't you pay attention?
I'm just making sure I heard. Okay. How many lines is that? That a pretty big part.
3. No, I'm kidding.
It's about like 4 or 5 scenes. I
Okay.
think. Yeah, around there.
Cool.
But yeah, it's fun. It's
Nice.
definitely been a lot to get back into theater again after so long of just not even thinking about it.
How are you getting along with the star? Are you guys interacting pretty well? You like yelling at him? Get away from me.
You know,
Give me a coffee.
As long as he comes to my party, I'll be cool with him.
I don't like him.
You
Come on.
I just think
That's all in character.
I did, yeah, of course.
I guess
I
you're
don't
not
like
getting hors
Fred.
d'oeuvres.
Get away, get away. Yes. Yeah.
That's funny. You had mentioned something about the 7-year break there between this part and the last one you did. Were you still doing theater stuff then, or just out of the business altogether?
No, I was doing theater. I was in the last show I did was on Golden Pond. And played the boyfriend. It was a fun role, a lot of great characters. The actors in the show were just wonderful, just great group of people to work with. And that was the last show I was in. And then when I moved out to Aurora, Naperville, because I was living in Lombard at that point, it was just with my schedule, it was just a long way to travel for Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, and Friday rehearsals.
Gotcha.
So I just kind of got away from it and just working, hanging with the family, and doing all those dad things. But like I said, then I had the opportunity to see, and I've been telling my wife I'd really love to, because I think I auditioned in Aurora. They have that small theater along the river.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a really
weeks ago.
tiny theater,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I auditioned for A Christmas Carol
okay.
Oh,
years
there.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And they, unbeknownst to us, I thought, well, why not? I'll just audition for Scrooge, right? And apparently they had to recast it before the auditions.
Oh,
One of those. It's like
occasionally
Okay.
they
Yeah.
hired the guy that you were, auditioning for the job or, interviewing with. They already hired the guy 3 months ago.
interesting.
So then they had me read for one of the townspeople, which is fine. That's okay. And I didn't get the role, which is,
Bummer.
there's lots of reasons that could be. It's not personal. You can't take it personal.
Oh
you know?
man,
no.
but your
You
thing's
can't.
personal. I'd probably not be here.
Yeah.
Christ,
Yeah, yeah.
How many no's? Like in sales, you get so many no's before you get the yes. You just,
Right.
every no is just move on to the next step, right? But there's a
Yeah.
lot of auditions out there available in the Chicago area. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I want to know more about On Golden Pond, because what character did you say again?
I played a boyfriend of the daughter.
The boyfriend. Okay.
Yeah. And
Because the movie version has who's I
That's
forget
Henry
who's-
Fonda.
and Fonda.
and
Yeah, Henry
his
Fonda.
daughter, yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. So I
Wilford
played.
Brimley.
Yeah, and Wilford Brimley. Can't forget him.
So I played. What's the daughter's name? Fonda.
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda. So I played her boyfriend in the play, which so it was just a good fun role, a lot of fun. And then I did prior to that with the Whedon drama, I did Sherlock Holmes. I played Sherlock Holmes in a
Nice.
production. That
You
was a
like
lot
getting
of
the
fun.
lead roles, don't you?
Well, it's it is a lot of fun. Really is. But I've seen a lot of people who get lead roles, and it's funny how they walk out of the theater like they were at the Academy Awards. And it's just, guys, this is community theater, man.
Right.
It's like,
You're waiting to get the autographs, right?
but it's honestly, the most difficult is really if you have a lead role, you got a lot of lines that you have got to memorize. And being in Scrooge, I cannot, if the date that they tell you that you have to be off script, if that's November 3rd, there's no way me playing Scrooge that I could be off script on the 10th, because what does it say about the whole production if I can't even learn my lines and I got more than anybody else?
Yeah.
But once you get them down, that's when the fun begins. Once everybody's lines are down, then you can start experimenting with your movements on stage. You're not thinking about what you have to remember.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
got you.
Plug
right.
and chug.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
and then you can elaborate a little bit. You can play with it and figure out what's really comfortable. But that's really the hardest part. But the fun part is opening night, the jitters, the nervousness. And then once you walk on stage,
It's
you're
like
just
Showtime, baby.
showtime. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, how long have you guys had then to rehearse? I guess when did you cast everybody?
So we cast mid-September, started rehearsals the third week of September,
okay.
and we've been doing Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday afternoon, since then, not everybody, every rehearsal.
So almost 90 days by the time it goes on. So
Yeah.
you got giving them some time.
Yep.
So there'll be some time
Yep.
to delve into the characters like you're saying.
Yeah,
So-
we're really getting to that point now, and it's really nice because one of the biggest impediments when you're not off book is that you're literally holding something in your hand all
And
the
you gotta
time.
flip pages,
And you're, right, and
stuff
you're,
like
where
that.
am I again? And
Well,
as soon as
they don't
people
have
can-
cue cards in the local theater, do you?
we do not. In fact, no, we don't have enough people.
This
who can
isn't
hold
Saturday
those
Night
pages.
Live. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
this is real theater.
Supposedly they're like one of the last shows that actually does it. A lot of people use the teleprompters
Yeah.
or don't do it at
Yeah.
all.
Looks like Fred has a pair of Oakley smart glasses.
Right. Hey, whatever you got to do, but
See-
hopefully you'll have it down.
There's a number of children that are in the show, and some of them have lines, right? And some of them have never done theater. Some of them this is the first time. A couple of them done some minor things. So it's really when they're up there, that's the real test because they can get really, really. All of a sudden, the curtain goes up or the lights on them, and it's like they just explode.
Oh,
So the more, the better we know our lines, backwards and forwards. I need to know their lines.
I was going to say, know everybody's lines,
Right,
right?
exactly. Then if something like that occurs, we're able to the audience won't know that something happened
No.
as long as we don't act like something happened.
Well, as long as they don't do what I did in my play.
What did you
I
do?
walked off stage asking the line and come walking back on the stage. So I never got a part after that. by
But
the way.
at
For
being
years.
in
I
fourth
wish I was
grade, I
there
think
for
you
that.
have a little you have a little grace. You were in fourth grade.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, I know. But about how old are the kids? They're probably 7th, 8th graders or something.
Oh
right?
no, we've got them younger than that.
Yeah.
Our youngest is
Fun.
7.
Yeah.
Wow, I
Oh,
didn't even know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
But they're all
working with
excited.
them.
Oh, they are, and they're doing a great job. And the parents are so supportive of making sure that they're there and that they've practiced what they need to.
It's really cool to see how like some of the moms just tried out because their kids tried out. They were like, "Yeah, I want to try out now."
Yep.
And some of them really, really shine. There's this Jody who plays this.
Jody's great.
She plays this older woman that I can't believe he's dead. No, I can't believe it. Let's go have a drink. That kind of character, right? And she is so good. I mean, she's got this cackle like you're waiting for her to just throw a spell on you.
Oh,
And she does it so well. That's one of those characters that are really going to shine. I mean, you could have some person like myself or anybody that has a lead role. And sometimes it's that one person who has one line in the show that just kills it. And that's what you remember.
that's funny.
Yeah.
It sounds like you already remembered her and you're just working with her a little bit here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I love live theater. I mean, you never know. You really never know if, like you're talking about, like, you have to help with the lines because, or like me, I forgot something. There is no stop and, do take 2, like film.
When I was in Sherlock, I missed a whole page and a half of dialogue. Oh, and this was like the second weekend. This wasn't opening night, and needless to say, the actor that I was working opposite was not thrilled.
I would imagine it would have been like really confused
He
as to what
made
to do.
himself known,
How did he
but-
handle that with you?
he just, there's a scene where I'm in my den and he is Sherlock's nemesis, right? And he shakes my hand and all of a sudden I kind of just drew a blank.
Oh.
And just couldn't remember my next line. And when I couldn't, he started squeezing my hand harder.
Like that's going to help.
Like, right. Now that's just getting me really upset, right? So eventually we found our way back around. But again, the good thing is the audience really didn't know. Now
Okay.
we did. And I never will do a show with him again.
Oh.
But
He wasn't
Wow,
very
that was some
supportive.
tight squeeze.
that was, you could tell he was not very happy. So,
Wow.
but that's all right.
I guess it happens.
It's one of the, you never know what's going to happen. I bet you Carl can tell you
I-
stories about things that occur that you never would think.
I mean, one
would
page is probably like a couple of minutes, not even that much time wise that you miss. So I guess the audience probably didn't catch it at all. Maybe.
Sometimes a scene takes 40 minutes.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Right.
Ooh.
But sometimes even if it's only that one page,
Mhm.
if there's something really important that happens on that page or something that foreshadows something that's coming later and you don't deliver that, then you start to have this ripple effect of, well, now that doesn't make sense. And now I have to wrap back around and try and get another way to convey this idea. And so I have had, situations where I or somebody that I was working with it has skipped a line or gone ahead. And that's why you do the rehearsals, is so that everybody who's involved has a sense of, not only what are the lines that I have to deliver, but what's the sense of that overall scene that we have to convey to get us to the next scene, to get us to the end. And if somebody misses something, then somebody else has got to step up and go, all right, so he forgot to say something about his sister. I'm just going to ask the question. So didn't you have a younger sibling that told you something about whatever? And then that's the cue. And then they get back on and you keep going from there. And that's one of my favorite things about, working in a theater company and doing live theater, is that you build those relationships and that trust so that you can do those things. And so that if something goes wrong, somebody's going to pick it up.
You hope.
You can work off each other, basically.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like in your situation, he held your hand really tight, but he didn't help with the lines.
No.
That's what I'm confused about.
No, I think he wanted the role I had.
Oh.
So he was not
okay.
very
There might have been a
happy
little
after that.
animosity
Different
there.
motivation then.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Now I
those
see.
things.
That makes more sense now.
He
why
coveted.
would've done-
The good thing about this show, there's many good things about it, but one of the good things is that it's not really a comedy, right? There's some amusing things that happen in the show, but it's not a comedy. So when you're in a comedy, like a Neil Simon comedy, let's just take a Neil Simon comedy, for example, there's could be a lot of laughs, a lot of laughs.
Sure.
And when you break character because somebody on stage is absolutely knocking it out of the park, just making you have that suppressed laughter, right? And the audience sees it, that could really throw you for a loop. And that's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to Carl,
Oh my
maybe
gosh.
other. But here, at least here with Scrooge, we don't have that dynamic to be
You don't
worried
have people
about.
laughing, throwing you off.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I never really thought about like going to see a Neil Simon play and everybody starts cracking up. Are you ready as the actor for that, or do you not plan for that? I don't know.
I've been in shows that actually we did. I can't remember the name. It was a Neil Simon show. Very, very. The guy who's one of the lead roles was just so funny that you've done the show. It's like the fourth show you've done the show, and all of a sudden something happens, and he just throws you for a loop. I remember literally turning away from the audience, going back to the bar on stage because I could not keep a straight face.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah, you have to, but I couldn't, so I
That's
just
the
turned
hardest
away
part.
from the audience, and then they
I've been thinking about it.
and if
That's
they
funny.
see you starting to laugh, then the audience will start laughing because you're losing it.
Oh
Right.
boy.
You
Right.
know.
Well, we've
But
all
it's all
seen that
in
on
fun.
SNL, right?
I was
Like
going to say Saturday Night
that's the
Live
best
has
part of
it.
SNL is
Exactly.
when somebody goes
Exactly.
up.
That's probably
Oh,
the
yeah.
best part
Oh,
to it.
yeah,
Right,
for
right,
sure.
right. That is hilarious. Well, we are talking. I'm glad Joe brought you guys in here. We're talking with the director and lead, Mr. Scrooge, right here.
I prefer star.
Okay, the star of Christmas Carol over at the Play.
Maybe I'll get a little bit more money this time.
Oh, that's
if I
funny.
use the
Twice
word
what you're
star.
getting now.
Yeah, twice
Okay.
what I'm getting now.
After everybody sees this, you're going to want a bigger
See, we
billing,
did get
right?
a math question.
Yes, I did.
You may
Oh,
not get a
geez.
star on the Walk of Fame, but you could sign the wall outside.
Oh, sign
We
the
have
wall.
a
There we
wall.
go.
You could sign a wall. when we're
The
done
Wall of
here.
Fame or Wall of Doom? I mean, if I sign it, will my career just go in?
No,
I guess
no,
we'll find out.
It's it's been there a while, and people
All right.
are still doing stuff. I know that, but anyway, so we're going to see you guys in Plainfield, the Plainfield Players. I got it right.
Yep.
And it's actually at the high school.
Yes.
Which high school?
Central Camp, Plainfield High School, Central Campus on
Okay.
Fort Beggs,
Got it.
just off of Route 59.
And the first day, is there like a pre-show or just the first?
No, we had 3 performances.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday at 7:00, December 20th and 21st. Sunday
Okay.
matinee at 2:00 on the 22nd.
Got it. So it'll be right before Christmas. And if they want to buy tickets, they can go again to the website, I guess.
Correct. onthestage.com
Okay.
/Plainfield Players.
Got it. onthestage.com. Remember that, everybody. And Joe, thanks for having him here. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward
thanks for
to
inviting us.
seeing you in
Glad to have
this.
y'all. Oh,
You know,
yeah.
how
I'm
much-
excited to be a part of it.
So he's probably going to be on stage for all of like 5 minutes or something.
It's got a few times.
No,
in
he's
there.
actually he is in the longest scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
The longest continuous scene is the party at Fred's house.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
It's definitely a long one. That's a marathon of a scene. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, just trying to like with all the people talking in between your part, it's just like trying to count and memorize and keep that pacing. is the
I
hardest
can't
part.
wait. I'm really looking forward. We'll definitely have to be there. I hope well, it's not sold out yet, so everybody can go check it out. And obviously, they can watch this and get the preview because we're on Spotify and I heard all those for the podcast, and then YouTube. They can watch Intellectual Radio's YouTube and see us. So anyway, guys, thanks for coming out. Appreciate you
thank
coming out
you.
to the suburbs
Thanks
here
for
on a
the
Sunday
invite.
night.
Yeah.
Joe, thanks for bringing them out and you being here with us. And of course, Libby, you're always fun.
Thank you, Libby.
Bye.
you, Libby.
Bye, Libby.
You're welcome.
Everybody
Bye.
have a great night. And again, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Bell and Company.